Then we get tough, been through all the trials. Then we get luck, seen a lot of frowns. Now I'm smiling back.
Welcome to the very first introductory episode of The Oven. I'm your host, Alex K. Today I'm gonna be talking with my producer and my sponsor, Phillip II of Winnerz Only. We're gonna be kind of hashing out today, just kind of who we are, what we do, how we kind of came to be, how we kind of met up and stuff like that, and kind of like a little bit of like how we kind of think and what we kind of foresee as far as The Oven and Winnerz Only. And The Oven is, if you haven't been paying attention by now, The Oven is a podcast where I'm going to be taking very special people. I'm going to be taking musicians, athletes, artists, and people with interesting hobbies, and I'll be taking them in an interview setting, and I get to kind of pick at their creative process, and I get to, in their own words, I get to kind of talk about how what they do improves the overall quality of life. And today we're just we're not gonna talk about anything really kind of like I'm not gonna be interviewing Phillip. We're just gonna be kind of talking about music and art and stuff like that. So I hope you enjoy this.
Alright, man.
Oh God, I'm so excited! I'm so excited. This is a long time, a lot of damn planning.
This is here though, man,
Yeah.
and we made it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's great. I'm actually really excited about it, and kind of how like, well, you want to kind of, how did we even meet? Who did?
well, we met through a couple other individuals.
Oh yeah, we met through some friends. Yeah, some old friends. Yep,
some old friends, and then
we kind of re-met through my family though.
Re-met through your family,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know that you were brothers with Richard, who
Yeah.
was kind of how I got connected into the Oneida community, and obviously into the Summers family.
Yeah.
Who I adore your family, man.
I appreciate that. They're so goofy, each and every one of them.
They
They're their
are,
own
and that's
way.
why I love them.
They're so goofy. They're so goofy, especially Richard. He's quiet and reserved on the surface, but once you crack open that little shell, he's a whole other person. It's funny.
He is, man, for sure. I got a lot of respect for him, and he's definitely a leader in his own right. He's gonna have like definitely a bright future for sure, man.
Yeah, I'm for sure gonna have him on this podcast as well. Kind of talk to him about his situation and whatnot. And he's a really good athlete, just all around good athlete.
Absolutely,
any sport
man.
he does is pretty prime.
Yeah, definitely for sure, man. I mean, I'm happy to like highlight him, and he kind of got me connected with his friends and stuff like that, and his friends kind of became my friends somewhat, you know what I mean. But more so than anything, I'm more so connected with Richard, and that's how you and I had met. It was funny, I was just completely just taken back that you two were friends. It was at Famous Dave's when we were going to eat.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It was after I took their pictures for the family photo.
Yeah. I showed up.
It was there actually.
Yeah. That's right. My mom was texting me like, all right, we're gonna take a bunch of family pictures. Be ready for this date. And I was like, I don't want to do family pictures. I don't want to go. And I go and I went, and sure shit, it's you. And I'm like, wait, you're doing our family photos? And you're like, this is your family?
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
Yeah.
I had a good shoot. That was a fun shoot.
Yeah, man.
That was a really fun shoot. And you're really good at shooting, man.
Well, you guys are good at just being comfortable and just, and that's what makes for good photos and stuff, when everybody can be comfortable and stuff like that.
For sure. And that's one of the things I like about photography is like it's all about capturing those raw moments. The moment.
Yeah.
Because that's.
And in fact, like that was like my first official paid shoot, and so like I had been doing a bunch of homework, and that was one of the things that the professional photographers were talking about. Is like, don't just take pictures of them, looking at the camera and stuff. Try to get them in between raw moments. So, yeah.
I love photography, man. I'm a sort of amateur photographer. I mean, I guess
That's
anyone
so
is
man.
though. Like
Yeah,
with
so
Instagram and shit now, everyone's just thinks they're a god and whatnot. But I think there is a kind of like a. Well, I kind of want to talk to you about photography. Where do you even start with that? Like,
Honestly, it was out of necessity. I actually bought the camera because I wanted to start shooting my own music videos, and I got that idea.
Oh,
Yeah, I got that idea from a few years back when I went to NWTC. Came up with a bit of a business plan, and wanted to be self-sufficient, and didn't want to pay people for photography or for shooting my videos.
oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
fast forward to like last year, early last year is when I bought that camera. Was actually sitting on it for a bit, and had a conversation with a friend, and she said, "Why don't you engage the community?" And I thought, well, why don't I try to put this camera to use? Started taking pictures and doing editing work. I had done editing work like way back in fifth and sixth grade. My art teacher, Miss Flaherty, let us work on computers, and so I used to do all these like different graphic stuff. And so I had somewhat of an idea of that world, but it was a learning curve of Photoshop and stuff.
Oh,
so.
yeah, for sure. Kind of honing in on your skills a little bit more.
But yeah, once I started doing the editing work and actually putting stuff out, I started noticing I was attracting attention through that, and I was like, wow, like I must be kind of onto something here.
Mm-hmm.
And so that one thing led to another, and I figured, well, why don't I just make this another sector of Winnerz Only?
I used to be really obsessed with taking pictures without editing. Something to me was like, well, if you're gonna make a good picture, it's got to be raw, like completely raw. And sometimes that's the case, but editing makes a difference, like a whole world of difference. And I was just, if I could go back and kind of like smack older me and I'd be like, yo, you gotta edit these pictures, because I did have some decent pictures, but my whole mindset was like, don't edit these.
And speaking of pictures, you just showed me your pictures, so that was, not to get ahead, but like I would imagine if you could delve into Photoshop, that those artistic talents would just kind of translate over, because you have from what I've seen of your pictures, you have a keen eye for detail.
Yeah, that wouldn't even be a bad idea. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I wouldn't say active so much. I'm trying to get back into drawing and
visual art.
Yeah, visual art, contemporary studio 2D design art. Not to toot my own horn, I'm pretty decent at it.
He's good. You're good. Yeah, and I'm not one to piss down somebody's back and tell them it's raining. I don't sell dreams.
Yeah,
and you're good, man. Like, and take it from somebody. And actually, I was just talking to somebody today about that. Somebody put an Instagram post of their Air Force Ones, and it was a picture that they saved from the internet, and it had Air Force Ones, and it had Darth Vader design on there. And I just kind of got another hunch, because I'm always thinking money. How can I put my talents? How can I create commerce out of my talents? And so I messaged her, and shout out to Hattie Summers, by the way. That's who it was.
That's my cousin.
Yeah, she's dope. But shoe girl for sure.
Is she?
Yeah,
that's something I didn't know.
Yeah, so she put that picture up, and I messaged her. I forgot where I was going with this, but yeah, man, definitely visual art was a first love, and my mom actually wanted me to go to art school for visual art. Yeah, because she believed in my talent that much.
Oh, wow.
She encouraged me to I competed in art competitions and stuff like that, and they were in bigger cities, and I was a little bit younger, so I think my skills were decent, but not enough to be competitive, I guess, you know what I mean? And I wasn't active in the community, so nobody knew me, and I think that kind of plays a role in those type of competitions and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel that kind of similar in that sense, like about the skill set anyway, like to kind of compete. When I was actively drawing, which was in high school.
When did you start, actually?
Yeah, I started drawing, I started drawing, well, I kind of always liked drawing since like second grade, I can remember. But I didn't really kind of hone in on my skills until probably 7th or 8th grade, going into freshman year.
Yeah.
And that's when I had a really great teacher, Mr. Felchlin, who was just, he was a really big pencil to paper guy, and he saw that I liked that, and he broke me down, and
that was my favorite too, pencil to paper or pen to paper.
It's so good. Something about it for me personally is just, it's like another appendage I have. It's almost. And man, Felton had a really
Was
good...
it hard for you to get into color going from the
Yeah,
see,
yep.
that was the same thing for me
Yep,
too.
and I had another teacher who was who actually helped me hone in my skills even more, Mr. Dolan, and who I'm still in touch with him, and he's actually working with me right now, trying to work on some art stuff and whatnot, trying to regain my skills back. But,
Very cool.
Yeah, Felton helped me hone in on my my signature pencil to paper kind of a thing, and then Mr. Dolan, he kind of he took those skills and he's like, yo, you're way more creative than this. Everything, don't do that anymore. He literally wouldn't let me
So
draw.
he was the catalyst for you then.
Yeah, Mr. Dolan, I owe a lot of my stuff to Mr. Dolan because I remember a point in time he would not let me touch a pencil. He took them away from me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he took them away from me. He was like, you're using
He
pen.
wanted to expand your horizon?
Yep,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that's exactly what it was. He saw something in me that said, you can do more than what you're doing. And I didn't see it. I didn't believe it. And I was like, this is too hard. I can't do it. And then I needed that push because now I'll post a couple of these pictures that I drew.
Definitely get those
for sure. Yeah, I'll post a couple of those and kind of show what I'm talking about. But man, and that's where I kind of got competitive about it too, because high school has an art show, and if you're good enough in the art show, they'll take it into De Pere at the art garage, and you can display it up in there if you're good enough.
Right.
So
wait, there's an art garage in De Pere too?
Yeah.
There's one down on
or
Main
maybe
Street.
that's the one I'm thinking of. Sorry,
okay.
yeah, that's the one. The one in Green Bay.
Okay.
But yeah, so I've been trying for years and years to get all throughout high school. I was trying to get into the art show.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't good enough with my pencil paper drawings.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Dolan, he got me into it, and it was all color. I was like nothing, and ink too. I never thought I would touch ink.
Yeah.
It was ink, watercolor painting. It's just weird. I never thought I could do it, and now looking at those pictures, they're trash. They're absolute trash. They're absolute trash.
Man, I thought that way too about everything that I colored too. Color was never I don't know why, it was just never my thing.
Yeah,
I loved my pencil art, but the color stuff I didn't like. Was that the same for you?
Yeah, I don't. I do like. There's favorite things that I did too, where it's like I don't know how I did this. It probably won't happen again, but bread and butter is the pencil and paper.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't know, but oh god, even my pencil and paper drawings, I kind of want to go back and maybe even recreate some of them, because I know with the right training and stuff, and now that I'm older and kind of understand everything a little bit better, I'll be able to do a lot better work.
Nice.
For sure.
Nice.
For sure.
I mean, I definitely like, that's a whole nother avenue too to engage the community. And I mean, there's artists out out east in New York, and I'm sure that elsewhere, but it's more prevalent out there. They'll rent a space for like a week and then commission their own work.
Wow.
And just set it all up and then commission their own work. And like, I'd love to like see that happen. Yeah.
That'd be like Candyland for me, man.
Exactly.
I'd lose my shit.
Exactly.
I'd lose my shit.
Could you imagine that though? Like commissioning your own work. We rent the office space.
Yeah.
You know, because I actually would like to get back into visual art too. But I mean, you've got a ton of more stuff than I do to display, and to have all that work displayed. Have like they do it so major metro, and I like to do it like that. I set up like a little DJ in there. Have like some refreshments and some hors d'oeuvres for people.
Yeah.
And
that's cool.
And get and invite key people that are maybe some tastemakers, and of course just other artists and stuff like that too. Yeah, for
sure. Yeah, that's such a weird community too. Artists, like, you get a lot of weird people in there, but like
they have a hard time socializing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like because I know a couple people who are really, really good artists, and they're really, really shy. And I don't want you to be shy, dude.
Yeah.
And what they kind of get all that out with their work.
It's funny though, because it's like that balance kind of went into their craft more than it did their social skills.
It's so weird.
But the social skills, if they just honed in on that, man, that would just excel their.
If the artists that I'm thinking of, if they took what they can do in their artwork and apply that to them as people, they'd be phenomenal. They'd be more. They would they'd be on the map for sure.
Right.
They'd be on the map, like, because
Right.
there's a lot of kids that I know too that are really good, and they're just shy kids
Mm-hmm.
and embarrassed kids.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about like high school kids. I want to protect them all.
Yeah.
I want to protect them all because it's like you guys got nothing to be ashamed of. High school's bullshit. Like, it's not bullshit. You do need your education, but like the social structure of high school is bullshit. Like none of that's gonna matter at all.
Yeah.
None of that's gonna fucking matter whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I wish, and it is something that they have to learn on their own. But I wish it's just like it's gonna be okay.
You know, and they don't, you know, and that's a thing. Getting off on a little bit of a tangent. They, you know, it would be so dope to like institute programs to like almost do that, educate artists and them to come in and just say, hey, look, like you have to understand, like none of this shit is even gonna matter. All the friends that you're worried about now and even have, most likely you're not even gonna be hanging out with like after you graduate.
And because everyone has their own plan, everyone has their own journey, and that's the biggest thing is like. It's their own world. That's it for them. And but it is necessary, and that's kind of one of the points I wanted to talk to you about today. Is like having that kind of creative mode, whether you be doing archery, hunting, playing an instrument, singing, jerking off. I don't know, any kind of creative hobby. any kind of creative hobby, I think, is super necessary for this world.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you'll go insane. And if you don't have that creative process where it's just a gray world. And that's one of the main reasons why capitalism works. We're not going to get into that, don't worry guys.
Yeah.
But that's one of the main reasons why capitalism works is because it allows people to be creative and invent things. And when we have more of that, and you got to find time to do it too, because you can't be destructive with your artwork. And I get like, because vandalism, don't do that. That's really bad. You can go to jail. But having an outlet in which you can express your creativity, I think, is almost necessary for the overall kind of quality of life. You know what I mean? Just it makes it. First of all, you leave your mark. That's for sure. And it's there. It's recorded. It's done. That's a part of you is there. It's whether it be you got something, you won something, you did it, or making memories with something like going to a concert and. Like performing at a concert. It's just those things are just to me they're necessary in making this crazy ass world we're in like go round. Pressed. I get it though. I don't get it. I will never understand racism.
It's weird
with like suppression and stuff like that. Obviously we're gonna outgrow
when you
it.
got some fucking money though, man, it's so easy to just knock shit down and
That's
and
true.
you can. You got your hand in the media. You got your hand in distribution channels. You got your hand in fucking just the whole thing of it, man. Like the way they were gonna stop Johnny Cash from actually putting out one of his albums that had a lot to do with advocacy for Native Americans.
Wow.
Yeah, and he stood his ground on it. And
which album was that?
God, I don't remember offhand, man. It was.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that too. We'll drop it in the description too, for that album. But
yeah, because he's fire. He would definitely be one.
Yeah, Johnny Cash. Oh man, I remember when he died, and he died when I was really, really young, and I still felt that like Johnny Cash played a lot of my he was probably like my early years growing up, like from like ages like 3 to like 7 or something like that.
He was the shit for you, huh?
I love Johnny Cash. And Butch, my stepdad, he when I was learning guitar, he made me learn some Johnny Cash or whatever, and he plays guitar as well, and so we'd do little concerts for the family. We'd sit there and play at the big like family cookouts. We'd all sit there and play some Johnny Cash and shit. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. We'll have to get in touch because his dad, Richard, he plays really good guitar. He's mean on the Strat. He plays a Stratocaster. No, Telecaster. He plays a Telecaster.
You don't know how like cool I think that is to see like when I get to see stuff like that, because you gotta understand, like I never knew my dad, and stepdad that I had up until I was 12. You know, he really, I mean, honestly, really wasn't shit, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like to like sit there and like see Richard Senior, Butch,
Yep.
and then Richard the Third.
Yeah,
like
it's so
like,
funny to
that's
me.
dope.
I love I love it when all three of them are in the room and they don't know I walked in yet.
Yeah.
They're like, Richard! I yell it, and all three of them turn their head real quick.
Because Butch is a Richard too, right?
Yep, he's a Richard too.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know why Butch answers to that. I don't know why because everyone calls him Butch.
Wait, does Lisa call him Butch?
Yeah, we all call him Butch. I don't know why he's still in. I don't.
How long has he had that name?
I don't know. Ever since I knew him,
okay.
I've always called him Butch.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't even know where that came from.
How young were you when he became your stepdad, or he came into the picture?
They got married. Well, I don't know exactly when he came into the picture because my mom and my dad had a split when I was a baby. So so they separated when they're that, and Butch has kind of always just been there. And I remember going to their wedding though, and their wedding was a lot of fun. I liked their wedding. And, Richard was so handsome. It was Boogs, my little brother. He's such a little cutie. Oh God.
He was a little fat porker, man.
Yeah, he was.
I seen a picture with him and Marlene, and it's like, damn, okay, all right.
Yeah. It was, Butch has always kind of been there, and the great thing about Butch is he's a really good teacher. He's a really, really good teacher, and one of the things...
He's a patient man, for sure.
Yes, and kind of to wrap this up a little bit, is the great thing about Butch is he's a really big advocate for creativity, and in all forms. And I think me and Richard and Taylor, for that matter, are all kind of advocates for that because Butch supported Taylor intellectually, but he kind of pushed that on my mom because my mom has a little more of the intellectual side.
She's the head.
Yeah, she's the head for sure, and Butch is the heart. And then so Butch, he's always, with me anyway, he's always pushed me for whether it be sports, trying extra hard in wrestling, and pursuing. He's actually one of the persons who tried to convince me to go to art school instead of the army. And yeah, he was a really big advocate for that, for creativity. And Richard,
God, bro, you've been a rock star in art school, I bet, man.
Like, probably. Yeah, I probably would have. No, I wouldn't have because I was still an ignorant little shit.
So you'd have kind of rebelled.
Yeah. I needed the army for sure.
Tame you a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I needed the army. I needed that.
He's a wild stallion. Yeah. Young Mustang.
Right?
Yo, that's
Black Beauty.
That's gonna be your nickname for me. We don't do Lils over here in Winnerz Only, people. We do young. So I'm Young Thunderheart. There's Young Mustang.
Young Mustang. I like it. But then, yeah, he's a really. And then Richard, my little brother. It's hard because they're all three of them are Richards, but my little brother Richard, Richard himself is a really good athlete and stuff, but if it weren't for Butch, I don't know what the hell Richard would be doing.
Yeah.
Because Butch helps him kind of channel all of his skills, basically. And we need more people like Butch who are just really good coaches and advocates for creativity. Because without, like we said in the beginning, like without creativity, this world is just dull and gray and it's not enjoyable for that matter.
Yeah, I definitely got that vibe from him for sure, and that's why I was I'm big on vibes, and I just kind of picked that off of him right away, and I was eager to kind of share a little bit about myself with him because I felt like just right off of his vibe, like we were gonna relate to one another.
For sure. He was
gonna kind of understand a little bit about my story. But I think I want to help you wrap this up by I think we should share kind of our visions for this whole thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, let's do it like that. Yeah.
So we can start what is your vision for this thing and stuff?
So the oven, I'm really excited to. We will be taking a trip out east in the near future, and I really want to sit down and kind of do what Butch has done, be an advocate for creativity. And just expose the creative aspect and the creative mind and the process of how that works, because in the long run, it's just gonna give people insight on people like us with that creative mindset, because we are really weird and dumb people that just make mistakes, but we are very passionate, very, very passionate about about anything we do. Pretty much, we're just dumb.
Yeah.
We're just dumb.
I'll agree that I definitely have I'm glutton for punishment, and I like to learn the hard way.
Yep, for sure. Me too, man.
But what can I say? I mean, I've heard you say this before. You know what I mean? I work well under pressure.
Yeah, man, dude.
Diamonds are formed under pressure.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't get what I love about it. It's just when I get a deadline, I'm just like, the best of me comes out.
Yeah,
the best. You get my focus because I'm a really bad procrastinator.
Yeah,
and when I get a deadline, it's like end all or be all. Like you got to do it. Like you give it all or it's not shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then obviously you want to expose the art community, but what do you I would like you to kind of just share a little inkling of how far you'd like to take this thing.
Well, for sure, I'd like to take this to. One of my big goals to interview is Russ. He's an upcoming rapper and stuff. But I want to end up getting big names. I want to get big names, and I also want to be able to. I want to do my own thing too. Like I am an artist. I will eventually be putting out my own stuff. Creatively. Creatively. Yeah, I will be putting out my own stuff creatively, and that is the long-term goal. But for sure, the long-term goal is to like sit down with like big key players, but not just big key players too, because those big key players weren't always big.
Yeah,
they start from somewhere, and I want a good healthy mix.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like that. I like you're specific about that because Russ is he's interesting, man, and he definitely has put in his time and effort and has excelled.
You can hear it in his music.
Oh yeah, he's excelled, man, for sure. I mean, he's an artist for sure.
Oh man, and he like up until recently, he was like making his own music videos and all that. He was doing it all on
and
his
that's
own.
What I mean, man. Like being that self-sufficiency, and he was able to take pride in his work, and I mean, he was able to talk the talk because he walked.
Oh my god, yeah, too. And now, like in his newer music, where he's like, "Fuck you guys," it's like, yeah, I feel that. Yeah, fuck them. Like
exactly.
Like, yeah, and like I'm a little ashamed that I didn't hear about him earlier. Like I'm a little sad I wasn't there with him from the start
on his journey.
On his journey, because he's worked his ass off.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh yeah, man. And from the mixing to the mastering to the producing, like I mean, and for him to be, he's solid, man, and he's definitely going to be around for quite some time, and that, he's going to go down right now. I feel like there's a lack of appreciation for an artist like him, but rest assured, in due time, his time is going to come where he's
going to be up there.
Oh yeah, he's going to be in the upper echelons, and
just like Lil Dicky, man. Lil Dicky wasn't shit a couple years ago, and now look at him. Thank God Snoop believed in him.
That was Snoop
Snoop Dogg signed him on.
Oh wow.
Yep, Snoop Dogg. That's what Professional Rapper's about.
Yeah.
You ever hear that song?
Uh-uh.
It's a super funny song.
Yeah. I never like got into Little Dicky, or I never really heard his music. Rather, maybe I should check him out.
He's a comedy rapper.
Is he?
He's a comedy rapper, but his stuff is so good. And if you listen to the song "Professional Rapper" featuring Snoop Dogg, it's about Snoop Dogg signing him on and stuff like that, in a comedic tone, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank God for Snoop Dogg believing in Lil Dicky. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have heard about shit from him. Honestly.
Dope.
I gotta be more mindful about looking at the underground scene a little more, because
that might be another avenue for you. I know there's a few other, like a couple other podcasts out there where these guys have a knack for getting on stuff early because they do their homework on the underground. But I do like the fact that you have the vision to take it to a higher place, because
for sure.
I mean that switching over to you, that's my goal with this whole thing, is to try obviously to advocate for your talent. For sure, we have similar personal stories that are definitely one day going to be shared. You know what I mean, in due time, where how our paths really, really crossed. You know what I mean? We weren't the most squeaky clean guys on the scene. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But now, we're both here, and we're in our becoming, in our I am stages, and again, the podcast. I mean, I'm such a visionary. Like I got every hope for you, and it makes me feel good for you to be like, yeah, I want to take it, because I wouldn't have it any other less than that, man.
For sure. Well, I mean, what's the point of all this if we're not gonna if we're not
shoot for the moon?
Yeah, man. What's the point? Like, and Russ for me right now is like he's I know he's gonna be big.
Yeah.
And for right now, that's my goal is Russ.
Cool.
And
you're gonna get there.
He's already big in my book. He's already huge in my book. He's without the fan base and without the actual being huge. He's up there to me with like Jay-Z.
Beautiful.
I love him. I love him, and like that's the goal, is to kind of be up there.
It's funny when you said that. You know what I mean? I have a way of being able to visualize instantaneously, and I look at where we're at right now, man. We had to build our own makeshift. We had to build our own makeshift studio in my basement, and you know what I mean. And we're putting this thing together, but what we got, you know what I mean. And granted, it might not be the prettiest, but once you said that, I just instantaneously seen you in like a professional studio.
Oh well, I appreciate that, man. It does me, and you too, man. This journey obviously wouldn't be possible without you, but I don't know if I would have it. I don't know if I would want it without you.
That means a lot, man. You know what I mean? And it's hard to had to make a lot of friends and seen a lot of friends go and stuff like that. So I definitely, even just over this course of time, for sure, man, I have to tell you, you know what I mean? I say it right now, I consider you a friend.
Yeah, for sure, man. We're not just business partners.
Well, and it's the loyalty and the passions there, of course, and you just as I, we're not trying to sell each other dreams, and you're not trying to tell me, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. You're just keeping it real and saying, hey man, I got a talent, can you help me out? You know what I mean? Hey, I got a talent, I can help you out, man. So,
yeah, and I think that's a really big important thing for people in the audience to understand, is I'm not gonna bullshit you guys. I'm gonna bring to you guys my A game every time, because it's in it for me as much as it is for you guys. So, I mean,
awesome.
That's a good spot to wrap up, man.
Yeah.
You want to wrap it up?
Yeah.
Let's go get out of here.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Yeah. Later, guys. We love you. Tune in for more shit later on.
Yes.
All right. That's it. Awesome. That's it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
How does it feel, brother?
It feels way better.
Yeah. You.
Now, can we, let's go. We don't stop, no, we don't stop, no, we don't stop, no. We don't stop, no, we don't stop, no, we don't stop, no. We don't stop, no, we don't stop, no, we don't stop, no. We don't stop, no, we don't stop, no, we don't stop, no. We can't, we don't, we won't, we should take the good win. There's much greater, a little later. See you there, I see you stare at the corner of your eye. Take a peek, taking looks at me. I wanna see you daily.